Welcome back, 3D design students. This is your professor, John DeHogue, speaking, and our last video, this one will cover three terms. It'll cover physical balance and asymmetry. We're going to lump those into one sculpture, and then finally we'll look at proportion. So when talking about physical balance, we want to develop a sculpture that actually has a pivot point. Here you can see that point is the nozzle of the water bottle, the spray bottle. And then you want to select something that's going to serve as sort of your, what I'm using as a yardstick here, something that you can use to balance out different parts. So on the one end, I tied a sponge. That was my first kind of material that I decided to work with. And then I wanted to work with something very different from a sponge. So as we shift over here, we have the little figurine made out of wood, quite a bit different than the sponge. So, and quite a bit different in weight. So this, it maybe weighs, who knows, 3 or 4 times as much as the sponge. And because of that, you have to position it differently relative to your axis point. So our sponge is way off on the right hand side, and then to balance it, the figure is closer to the center, to the axis. But overall, it's asymmetric, meaning no matter how we cut an axis through it, it never mirrors one side to the other. So you're going to lump both principles into one sculpture. And then our second one, we're going to shift over in the studio, looking at proportion. And in the supplement that I wrote up and am sending to you, I ask that you think about taking something from your house that exists already and modifying it in such a way that you're radically changing the proportions. In that little handout, I talked about maybe taking a roll of toilet paper. What would happen if you sliced a 1-inch segment off of it to make a new roll of toilet paper that's only 1 inch wide? That would be a good example of a shift in proportions. Not that any of you are going to do that. That was my example. But the one I actually did for the video, I took a magazine and actually changed its proportions while maintaining some recognizable aspects, right? So in this case, I made sure the title of the magazine still remained, but I cut a little slice and then I trimmed the length. So what you're looking at now is a tiny little version of the magazine, which curiously enough still contains lots of images and text, and one could even develop a narrative if you were so inclined. But it is quite a bit different in proportion from its original source. All right, good luck with your last 2 sculptures, and we will get in touch regarding the end of the semester soon.